Okay, so today what we're going to try and do is we're going to be installing the first utility arm into R2D2 on the SENNA wooden frame. And I purchased the aluminum utility arms that basically go into this position. And I'm going to try and do the same process that Mr. SENNA did on his video and hopefully be able to cover some more stuff as well. So again, I have the aluminum utility arms and I've basically primered them white right now just to, get them to their starting position. Then again, these holes right here are 1/4 inch, so I bought a 1/4 inch rod from Lowe's for like $4.99. Now it wasn't a perfect fit. So I used some metal sandpaper to basically sand it down some and get all the burrs out of it. And that way it can basically go into the hole nice and smooth. Now it doesn't have to be completely loose because you're going to be gluing this in there permanently. So I just wanted to be able to make it fit without forcing it with a hammer and causing more issues. Okay, so now the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to cut the rod down to the size after I take my caliper, and on the inside of the R2D2 frame, when I mount it, I'm going to be mounting it right here. I'm going to measure from the top and the bottom here, and I'm going to measure another piece here, and the steel rods will basically be holding the utility arms in place. So I want to get a good fit, but then again, afterwards, I may sand it down because they don't have to be perfectly stabilized or locked in because there will be a locking system in place. Okay, so now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to cut these rods after I measure the inside with a caliper. I don't know if you want to really see me measure the inside or not, but okay, so on the bottom one, I'm basically going to use my caliper and I'm going to push this up until it hits. It's hard to do with one hand, believe me. So I'm going to basically try and squeeze it in, and then that's what I want my first rod to be. So I could measure that, but I'm just going to lock it in place, and then I'm going to mark the rod, and then the two pieces, the one on the right is the lower and the one on the top is the upper. So as far as length, there is a difference in the length. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to get rid of any burrs that are on the end, make sure that they're round, they're flat, and then I'll be able to glue them inside to the utility legs. Okay, so let's see if they fit in. Okay, there's one. And there's the second. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these in by positioning them inside the shell as best I can. So, okay, one thing I want you to fully understand about this before you glue them and you make a mistake. Okay, so you have, as you're looking at the front of R2D2, you have one utility arm that's going to swing out this way and another utility arm that's going to swing out this way. When you 3D print them or you buy the aluminum ones, I don't know if the 3D ones have it or not, I'm not sure. But on the aluminum ones, you have these little cavities. You want to make sure those are facing down. So my mistake was I put a T on this saying it was the top, and I put in the wrong peg. If I had installed that, it would have been upside down. If I had installed it, it would have been upside down, and it would have looked like crap, and I would have had to redo the whole thing. So when you mark your utility arms for putting in the correct length pins, make sure that you mark them correctly, and make sure you know that these are facing down first. Okay? So let me... Okay, one of the things I want to make sure is when I glue these up that I don't want to get any glue on these outside. I don't want to build up. So as later on you'll see why. So after they get completely glued in, I'll take some emery cloth and I'll clean these off a little bit to make sure that they're free floating, or actually so that they're nice and smooth, there's no burrs. Alright, so I'm going to take a Q-tip. I'm going to try and get it inside here, move it around. Doesn't take a whole lot to lock it in place. And then I gotta make sure I clean it on the back side. And again, this is something that takes... Thing is, with JB Weld, it cures in about 5 minutes. So you gotta work one piece at a time.